Welcome in our next video. In this video, we are going to talk about the Sanskrit Chavarga and Davarga, which are palatal or talavya and retroflex or murdhanya. Palatal or talavya are sounds produced by pressing the middle of the tongue against the hard palate. And the retroflex sounds in Sanskrit are produced by curling the tip of tongue back to touch the very top of the hard palate. So let's begin with the sounds. Our first consonant is cha, cha. This is palatal sound. It's unvoiced and unaspirated. It's represented in IAST by CA, and this sound is quite prevalent in English, like in words change, challenge, chapter, chart, church, etc. In Sanskrit, the words with this sound are like the word chakra, chakra, which means a wheel or circle, the word chandra, chandra, which is the name for the moon, and the word charma, charma, which means skin, hide, or leather. Our next consonant is cha. This is the aspirated version of previous consonant, and this is just like ch but with a puff of air. In IST represented by CHA, and we don't have this sound in English, so the Sanskrit examples are like the word chaya, chaya, which means shade or shadow, the word chhatra, chhatra, which means a student, and the word chala, chala, which means deceit. Our next consonant is voiced but unaspirated, that is ja, ja, represented in IAST by JA. And this sound is abundant in English, so words like jungle, jam, justice, January have these sounds. And the Sanskrit examples are like the word jiva, jiva, which means the individual soul or being, the word jaya, jaya, which means victory, triumph, or hail, and the word janma, janma, which means birth. Our next consonant is the voiced aspirated jha, jha, represented in IST as JHA. This sound is not existing in English, so the Sanskrit examples are like the word jhankara, jhankara, which means a low murmuring or jingling, the word jhanjhanila, jhanjhanila, which means wind with rain, and the word nirjhara, nirjhara, which means waterfall or spring of water. This sound is extremely rare in Sanskrit, comparatively, I'm saying. So, this sound, if found difficult, it is absolutely perfect if you are neglecting it for now. Our last consonant of palatal group is the nasal consonant, that is nya, nya, represented in IST with n having a tilde above it followed by an a. And this consonant is very present in English, so words like lasagna, canyon, onion, minion, etc. In Sanskrit, nya always acts as a consonantal bridge. So you will always see in IST this consonant being represented by N having a tilde above it, and you will never see it followed by an schwa because it is not an independent consonant. It's just there so to connect to consonants or to being in between two consonants, right? And the Sanskrit examples are like the words pancha, pancha, which means five, the word chanchala, chanchala, which means restless or flickering, and the word Dhananjaya, Dhananjaya, which means conqueror of wealth. And you must have already noted that N with the tilde above it is only representing this consonant because this consonant is basically a consonantal bridge. So here ends our palatal group. Now let's move forward for the retroflex group, that is Tavarga or Murdhanya. The first retroflex consonant in Sanskrit is ta, ta, represented in IAST by T having a dot underneath it. This at first might seem is present in English, but there's a big difference. The t sound in English that we have is actually alveolar sound or originating from alveolar ridge of the mouth. The Sanskrit ta is the retroflex ta. So the underside of our tongue is touching the hard palate. So there's a difference. So it is not like a ta for today. If I have to pronunciate the T of today as retroflex T, it would sound like today. So there's a big difference. All right. The Sanskrit examples are like the word Mukuta, mukuta, which means a crown or a tiara. The word tankara, tankara, which means twanging or clanging sound made by bowstring. And the word twashta, twashta, which is a divine artisan and celestial craftsman of the gods, similar to Greek Hephaestus. Our next retroflex consonant is th. Represented in IAST by T having a dot beneath it, followed by H and A. This is the aspirated version of the previous consonant. Again, this is not present in English, so the Sanskrit examples are like the word Jatharagni, Jatharagni, which means digestive fire. The word Shrestha, Shrestha, which means most, excellent, best, or foremost. And the word Patha, Patha, which means reading, recitation, or study. Our next consonant is D, D, represented in IST by D having a dot beneath it, followed by A. And again, at first, it will seem like, okay, we have this sound inside English, but it's not true. It's not D for David. It is, again, a retroflex D. So, Sanskrit examples are like the word damaru, damaru, which means the small hourglass shaped drum. The word danda, danda, which means a stick or staff, but also means punishment because just like royal scepter, the danda had authority to give punishment to someone in ancient times. So this was word for both a staff or a stick and also for punishment. And the word mandala, mandala, which means sacred geometry, also it can mean a section and administrative division. A section because in Vedas, for example, the Rig Veda is divided into 10 sections, and every section is known as a mandala. So in that sense also it's used, and administrative divisions, so districts were called mandala in ancient times in Sanskrit. So this word has a lot of meanings. Our next consonant is the aspirated version of previous d, that is dh, dh, represented by d having a dot beneath it, followed by a j. And this sound is also quite rare in Sanskrit. So if it is difficult to pronounce, feel free to neglect it for now. But nevertheless, the Sanskrit examples are like the word mudha, mudha, which means bewildered, foolish, or a dolt. The word dradha, dradha, which means firm, solid, fixed, or strong. Our last consonant of this group is rna, rna. Think about it as retroflex na, but it having a hollow sound. In Sanskrit, represented by n having a dot beneath it and followed by a. Now, an important thing, this consonant is unlike the previous consonants that we just discussed. The specific consonants, which I said are not that important, this one is of great quintessence as it is widely used, may that be now declensions or the most famous Sanskrit words that we know. There are few words that we pronounce it differently, but actually this sound is in those words. So, to give you an example, the word Ganesha is not having that usual N in it. Indeed, it has this R at the place of N. So, correctly, it is not Ganesha, but rather Ganesha. Ganesha, which is the Hindu god of intellect and success, son of Shiva. Similarly, one of the most famous names out of India, the word Krishna is not Krishna in reality, but rather Krishna, Krishna, who is the orator of Bhagavad Gita. So you can easily understand that where we were pronouncing na, actually it is na at those places. So Ganesha, Krishna. Similarly, in yoga, we talk about prana, but actually it's not prana, it is prana, prana. So life force or breath. So this sound, although very peculiar, is of great importance in Sanskrit. We are going to find it everywhere. This is something which we should try to master. So that was all for today. In the next video, we're going to talk about the remaining two groups that are Ta Varga and Pa Varga respectively. Till then, have a nice day.